Most people are so ungrateful to be alive. But not you. Not anymore. Game over!
The scene in Saw where Jigsaw sits up and reveals he's been in the room the whole time took this modern horror classic to a whole new level. I can distinctly remember the first time watching it and how shook I was myself. Saw 1 was an instant classic. Its gore and torture made it stand out in the genre and sparked an entire franchise. But that one scene where the body we thought was dead the whole time sits up, man, that was a crazy twist. And then of course we get the scene where this guy cuts off his own foot. I'm talking about Lawrence from Saw. Released in 2004, this psychological horror film was made with a ridiculously small budget of $1.2 million, but it ended up becoming a global hit. Directed by James Wan and written by Leigh Whannell, Saw redefined horror with its twisted traps, dark storytelling, and one of the most shocking endings in movie history. Before we get started, let me warn you, there are going to be some spoilers in this video, and if you want to stay up to date with all of my scene breakdowns, be sure to subscribe to the page. I post a new movie every single week. Saw stars Cary Elwes as Dr. Lawrence Gordon and Leigh Whannell as Adam. These two men wake up chained in a filthy bathroom with no memory of how they got there. In between them is a mysterious dead body. After playing tapes, the two players try to figure out how to escape the room. However, they have to make some big sacrifices. What starts as an adventurous survival game soon turns into a deadly puzzle where every decision matters. And the ending? Oh man, let's just say, if you haven't seen it before, brace yourself. The final twist where the villain is revealed left audiences screaming in theaters. It's a one-of-a-kind ending you never forget, and it turns Saw into a modern horror classic. But before we get to that mind-blowing finale, let's go through the twisted, nail-biting story that leads up to it. The movie begins with a young photographer named Adam Stanheight waking up in a bathtub of a filthy, dark room. After getting out, Adam finds himself chained to a pipe at one end of the room. Across from him is Dr. Lawrence Gordon, who is also kept chained. Between them lies a corpse holding a revolver and a tape recorder. Neither of them remembers how they got there, but their confusion quickly turns to fear as they realize they're part of a deadly game. Each of them is given a unique tape, and they use the corpse's recorder to play it. After hearing the tapes, the players realize that they are actually a part of this deadly game. It is designed by the mysterious serial killer known as Jigsaw, who is keeping an eye on everything using hidden cameras. The tape recording also reveals what the players have to do in order to escape the room. However, it's not something that they can do easily. Adam has to keep himself alive while Lawrence must kill Adam by 6 a.m. If Lawrence doesn't do this by 6 a.m., his wife and his daughter will be murdered by Jigsaw. He's keeping them hostage already, so Lawrence can't take any risks. The clock keeps ticking, and the two men must find more clues to figure out alternate ways to escape without losing a life. After looking around in their reach, Adam and Lawrence find several clues hidden in the room. They eventually get a pair of hacksaws and become excited to cut out of the chains. But there's no way the game is just that easy. The only thing these hacksaws can cut is soft flesh of their legs. Neither of the players are willing to do that, so they just start thinking of a new plan. Through a series of flashbacks, we learn about Lawrence and Adam's past. Dr. Lawrence Gordon is a respected oncologist, but also a man with a dark side. Recently, he was working on a patient with brain cancer for whom Lawrence had very little hope. He's not a very positive man anyway, and his personal life is a mess. He's distant from his family and has been having an affair with one of his medical interns. His relationship with his wife is falling apart, and his young daughter has started to feel neglected. Why he is chosen as a player is revealed only at the end of the movie, and believe me, nothing can make you ready for the final plot twist. Adam, on the other hand, is a struggling photographer who survives by doing shady jobs like spying on others. Recently, he was hired by Detective David Tapp to spy on Lawrence and gather evidence against him. So Adam was chosen because he's also indirectly connected to Lawrence, who has somehow upset Jigsaw in the past. Meanwhile, we're also introduced to Detective Tapp's backstory through more flashbacks. Tapp had been investigating Jigsaw for years after discovering one of his victims. One was a poor man who tried to crawl through razor wire to escape a trap. They found the only survivor of Jigsaw's games, and her statement helped the detectives in locating one of Jigsaw's lairs. During the raid, Jigsaw managed to escape, and Detective Singh was killed in the process. Obsessed and completely consumed by guilt, Tapp becomes a determined maniac. He starts spending his days watching Lawrence Gordon's house, convinced that he's involved in Jigsaw's killings. His suspicion started because he found Lawrence's pen light at the crime scene. However, Tapp has no idea that Lawrence's family is kept hostage in their house and the killer is with them too. Meanwhile, in the bathroom, Lawrence finds a box containing a cigarette, a lighter, along with a one-way telephone. After a while, Lawrence gets a call from his wife, who is speaking while being held at gunpoint. She tells him not to trust Adam, which makes it easier for Lawrence to kill him. However, Adam tries to gain the trust by revealing his connection with Lawrence and showing some of the pictures he took. He also tells Detective Tapp about the secret affair of Lawrence. After this conversation, the tension starts building in the room. Lawrence concludes that he's captured because of having an affair, but the truth is deeper than that. Suddenly, Lawrence notices one of Adam's pictures and identifies a man as Zepp, the hospital orderly. Zepp is the one torturing Lawrence's family, so by now it seems like Zepp is the mysterious killer, Jigsaw. Zepp is not a very patient guy and decides to kill Lawrence's family because he hasn't killed Adam. However, Lawrence's wife tries to escape and noises reach Tapp spying outside of the house. Tapp saves the family and follows Zepp, but unfortunately he gets shot to death. That's it? Zepp, the Jigsaw killer, has escaped again? Nah, it's time for the iconic twist we were all waiting for. Remember that Lawrence is still on the phone. He can hear the gunshots but has no idea who is being shot. In panic to save his family, Lawrence finally takes an inhuman step. He's going to kill poor Adam. He can use the corpse's revolver, but the chains are not letting Lawrence reach the gun. In desperation, Lawrence cuts his leg with the hacksaw, grabs the gun, and shoots Adam. Lawrence believes that he's saved, but suddenly Zepp enters the room to kill him. However, everyone ignored Adam, who is still alive after receiving the bullet. With his last bit of strength, Adam uses the toilet lid to kill Zepp. Meanwhile, Lawrence crawls out to get some help. Zepp has died, but unfortunately, he wasn't actually the mastermind. Adam finds Zepp's tape, which reveals that he was just another player. Jigsaw had poisoned him, and to get the antidote, Zepp had to follow Jigsaw's orders. So, who is the real killer? It's hard to believe, but the killer was right in front of Adam and Lawrence's eyes all the time. It's the corpse. As soon as Adam finishes hearing the tape, the corpse rises and reveals himself as the cancer patient whom Lawrence was treating. He reveals that Adam had an easy escape because the key was inside the bathtub. Unfortunately, while getting out, Adam accidentally pulled the plug and flushed down the key. Hearing this, Adam gets really angry and tries shooting Jigsaw, but he gets severe electric shock from the chains. Jigsaw witnesses everything with amusement and prepares to exit the room. He says, "Game over," while closing the door and leaving Adam to die. This ending is so impactful because it's completely unexpected. The movie spends so much time focusing on the traps, the mystery, and Zepp's actions that you never actually consider the possibility that the corpse in the room is actually the mastermind. Moreover, we must admire Jigsaw for being such a dedicated villain. Lying on the cold bathroom floor in an uncomfortable position for hours just to surprise your victims, that's not easy at all. Another major highlight is that the ending totally changes what the audience was thinking so far. Even after the movie ends, you need to stay in your seat, join clue to clue to understand why Jigsaw actually targeted Lawrence and Adam. But lucky for you, I've analyzed it for you. So, Jigsaw is concluded as a man who has a very short life because of cancer. Therefore, he knows the value of his life and hates people who take everything for granted. Jigsaw was targeting such people to teach them the value of life. Lawrence was one ungrateful man. He had a perfect family, but still had an affair. Moreover, he treated his patients like objects. If he had paid enough attention, he would have recognized Jigsaw. In the case of Adam, I think he was just there because he was helping Tapp. Jigsaw tried to be soft on him and gave him the key, but Adam was just one unlucky guy. In the end, he saw Jigsaw's real face, so it was obvious that he had to die. If we talk about the hidden message of the movie, it could be that the answers are sometimes right in front of us, but we overlook them when distracted by survival instinct or just to stay grateful. Saw is a perfect example of how creativity can overcome limitations. It was made on a tiny budget of $1.2 million, shot in just 18 days with a newbie screenwriter and limited cast, mostly in a single location. Despite these challenges, we get a film that redefined the horror genre and launched a franchise that's still going strong today. Sort of. What makes Saw so effective is its focus on storytelling and suspense. Yes, there's gore, but it's the psychological tension that really grabs you. The movie keeps you on edge, making you question what you'd do in the same situation. Moreover, in such a short time with such a small budget, making this masterpiece is admirable. Saw proved that if you have a good story with a great plot twist, you don't actually need expensive actors and sets. Just a few men in an old bathroom is enough. In that moment, when Jigsaw sits up, everything shifts. The twisted genius behind the game was there all along, watching every desperate move. As the door slams shut and Adam's screams echo into darkness, Saw cements itself as a horror classic, leaving audiences stunned and haunted by its final, chilling revelation. So, what did you think of Saw? Did the final twist blow your mind too? And what would you do to escape such a game? Let's talk about it down in the comments.